Hi, I'm Tony Bowen and welcome to my Corn Country Rails. Well, in this video, I'm covering the June 15th N-Scale Convention excursion that we took. And so when we had gotten our timetables after registration, everything was set up that we were going to ride the Virginia Truckee to Virginia City. And then once at Virginia City, we were going to have a barbecue, lunch, potato salad, and then have a few, well, I shouldn't say a few hours, but about 90 minutes to kind of stroll around Virginia City. And so the Virginia Truckee is pulled by a McLeod River locomotive, number 18. And when I got home, I was like, man, that engine looks familiar. Did some research, and well, if you're like me and a fan of the 1973 classic Emperor of the North featuring the number 19, well, the number 18 is the sister engine. And both of these locomotives have had several movie debuts that they've been in, but obviously number 19 with the Emperor of the North movie has really kind of made its claim to fame, I guess. And so it was kind of neat when we did the photo run by and just some of the things of riding the train and that, to not have that connection made until after I got home to go, wow, this is the sister engine. This is kind of cool. So it was a very nice ride, beautiful scenery, very different than obviously the Midwest when you're looking out at kind of a, what I guess I would call kind of the high desert plains, and then obviously hearing the history stuff of all the mining operations that once filled this valley and that. So I hope you enjoy the video of our train excursion and the run by, and then also there's some pictures of Virginia City at the very end. So thank you again for watching. So like every morning of the convention, I got up, opened the curtains, looked out over the Sparks yard to see what has changed from the night before, taking pictures of some interesting cars, and then it was time for us to head out to meet the bus for our ride on the Virginia Truckee. The bus ride was relatively short. I think we were on the bus maybe 40 minutes. This day, I believe there were about 4 full buses that took us to meet the train. We boarded about 6.5 miles away from Virginia City, and this is normally where they run their excursions from. So we were ready to go.
You don't get the good ones. That's how I work. The sole reason, of course, for building this railroad was because the Bank of California had repossessed way too many mines up there in Virginia City. Well, actually, they repossessed a lot of things, but it was the mine repossessions that made this railroad happen. Or down to the Carson River Canyon right over here, because that's where, of course, they also owned the only hydraulic stamp mill. The bank had such a financial stranglehold on everything going on up here, believe it or not, they weren't very well liked. Now, if you can see me right now, I'm going to point to the east. All day long, we're going to come right down here in this little grove of trees. There used to point out exactly what the back of the original railroad. That's it. I wouldn't need it any more than that. Used to be a great big photo panel and a big white X. People would always ask what that was. I told them, well, that's simple. That's the last page. That's the last mark line before you want a big method. Guys, we'll get you seated again. It's going to get pretty dark here in a minute. Welcome to Tunnel 2. This tunnel is just short of 600 feet long.
So as we continued to Virginia City, we were also being followed by a high rail. That's their normal procedure. One always follows the train to put out any fires or that, should it ever happen. So the train was just about to its spot to drop us off for the photo run by. We got dropped off at just a small little crossing, basically in the middle of nowhere in Nevada. Getting off the train to take photos during the photo run by was totally optional. My wife, she stayed down at the road level to take snapshots from that vantage point, and I hiked a little bit up the hill to be at a little higher vantage point, obviously also checking where I was watching for snakes along the way, since I absolutely hate snakes. So they backed the train up a good distance away. Then once the train was away from us, they also did a little service maintenance to it. And then pretty soon they came full steam ahead, literally, and ran by us. Bless you. Once we were back on board, we continued our journey to Virginia City.
There's not a nail in that building. It's all mortise and tenon construction. It's all covered in soot. It's almost unbearable. I told people the only good thing about the pandemic is the fact we're carrying masks, so I tell everybody to put them on. Example how many lines of white sign says caller line tour. That's a great tour to take. Goes back in about 400 feet. It's one of those nice horizontal mines, so it's always cool in the summer. 300 years ago when I was in college, I used to bring kids up there, and at that time they could go back in almost 1,000 feet, which is 995 feet farther than I ever went. Right down here below us, just to the east, you see the great big fin. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and thanks again on behalf of the entire B&B family.
When we got to Virginia City, the buses were already spotted right next to the train, so we could go from the train right to the buses that would take us to the Opera House that we were going to have lunch in. They took us right down Virginia City so we could kind of see some of the shops before we headed up to the Opera House. And this was a really neat place in its day, I'm sure. And so they opened it up where we would have lunch. I'm sure there's been probably a wedding party or two that have had a reception here. Very neat building. And so after lunch, we were able to go and explore Virginia City. It was neat to go through some of the shops. We stopped at one place and got some homemade fudge that was delicious. But a lot of them, it was just neat to go in and kind of browse to see what a lot of them had for sale and that. There was one saloon we went by that I was admiring, that they had all the different chandeliers and oil lamps hanging from the ceiling and that. But it was a nice day. It was a pretty hot day, so we descended from Virginia City on the buses and then headed back to our hotel. Thank you for watching. My next video will be an overview of the convention, and so I'll cover the train show, live auction, and just general things that took place at the convention. Thank you again for watching.